we're around 30 now, and we're just about to close Series A. So I'd say the big evolution for me was having a background in engineering was actually on the sales side. I found myself very much in the in the driving seat of sales. I managed to hire some amazing people, amazing CTO, amazing head of product. All of the other departments I felt very comfortable with. But as the founder, obviously, you are the one who's probably best placed in the early days to do the selling, despite it being brand new to me. I would speak to anybody. I'd take any call, and that was making it worse in terms of me being maxed, because I was just like, that's how I started the business, just trying to take any call and every call. That was one of the things that I was really trying to solve for, was how do I actually start to kind of build out a sales team and replace myself on that side. I just knew how important the head of sales hire was, not having hired salespeople and salespeople being by definition good at interviewing, like having the help on that I thought was going to be critical. You understood the brief really well, so we spent quite a bit of time together, just you really getting under the skin of that, which again just gives you a lot of confidence. But it also, I think you said it to me, like actually when you're looking for the great people, like often you have to approach companies, you're looking for people who aren't actively looking, like you've got to sell it. Like there's other kind of companies or people I've worked with on the recruiting side or the hiring side where, they're having to sell your company on your behalf, but they don't really get or spend the time to understand it. Whereas you guys properly understood it, and I felt comfortable you guys would be selling it to people who you were approaching. And then I won't jump the gun, but obviously the person that you found wasn't looking for a role, but you managed to sell them on Harper, and they ended up being a great fit.
I joined Harper October, end of last year, so I've been in the role 9 months now. There are many things. I think the key thing for me is the kind of diversity and autonomy of the role, and just generally getting back into more of a startup environment. I was actually headhunted by one of the team. So initially not hugely open, or to be fair, not open at all to the idea of a new opportunity. But Richard, who was my main point of contact at the time, was super kind of honest and genuine in his approach. He really helped me to understand the potential opportunity at Harper, but also weigh up considerations to actually leaving my previous company. I would recommend ScaleWise from a hiring perspective because they're able to source a really high caliber of candidates based on their network and their existing kind of portfolio of people that they have worked with.
So it was a couple of things. I think it was that fact that you spent the time to really understand the business, and you gave me a lot of comfort that you were going to help us find the right person because you really understood what that was and took the time to figure it out with us. And then obviously you were actually going to spend time with myself and with the new hire with the coaching support, which is all included in the fee. And I thought that gave me a lot of comfort as well, because I really trusted you guys. And actually, if you were going to help with that kind of process of the first few months, that was something that other people did not offer.
So having Tom as my mentor has allowed me to have an additional sounding board, I guess, to kind of sense check, critique, but then also validate some of the processes and plans that I'm looking to implement or kind of talking through together for the sales side of things. Ultimately allowing me to continually develop in those areas, which is really important for me and my motivation generally.
The reason I'd recommend ScaleWise to other founders is because getting the sales team right is one of the most important things you can do for a business that's scaling, but it's also one of the things that's most frequently gotten wrong. If you want to get it right, working with somebody like yourselves who really understand the space, are experts, it's just going to make your chances of success so much higher. And it's, I'm sometimes reluctant to pay recruiter fees, as other founders are, but if there's any role you're going to do it for, I think this is the area, because it's not just about getting this role right that's so frequently gotten wrong. It's actually getting someone who's in the top 5% of talent is going to have, a disproportionate impact on the business, and it's going to pay for itself very, very quickly.
For someone that's looking to be placed into a role, as I was by ScaleWise, I think the key thing is just make the process feel very human. It's not, I've had other experiences with recruiters where you can tell it's very much a numbers game. They're very much after their fee and ultimately and wanting to just place as many candidates as possible. However, ScaleWise really listened to what I was actually looking for in a role and in a business as well, and were kind of weighing up the pros and cons with me, not just fluffing up the opportunity and the company for the sake of making sure that I took the opportunity. I'd highly recommend it.